A stranger sits across from you, looks you straight in the eye, and begins to reveal details about your life you've never shared. They know you're worried about an older relative. They mention a piece of jewelry you've misplaced. They hint at a recent argument that still bothers you. Your pulse quickens. How could they possibly know this? Here's the truth. They don't. You have just been cold read. Today, we're going to expose how this psychological trick works and how you can spot it before you get played. Cold reading is a set of techniques that gives the illusion a person knows intimate details about you without any prior knowledge. Scammers, fake psychics, and self-proclaimed mediums use cold reading to extract information, build credibility, and manipulate you. Unlike genuine insight, cold reading relies on universal statements, clever observation, and subtle prompting to make you feel seen and understood. And once you start believing, you're more likely to share and more likely to trust. Most cold readers follow a 3-stage playbook designed to build rapport, gather clues, and escalate trust. Stage 1, the shotgun. The cold reader begins by throwing out broad, generalized statements that apply to almost anyone. Examples like, I sense someone close to you has passed recently, or you sometimes feel you're not living up to your potential, and also, there's a piece of jewelry you keep in a safe place. These statements are statistically likely to resonate with at least one person. Stage 2, the feedback loop. Once you react, verbally or non-verbally, the cold reader refines their guesses, steering toward more specific claims. Your facial expressions, body language, or small comments feed them information. You might nod or say, yeah, my grandmother passed. Now they have a thread to pull. Stage 3, the revelation. Using everything you've given them, the cold reader delivers a big reveal that seems impossible to know. They'll say, she wants you to know she's proud of you for taking on that new job. At this point, your skepticism drops and their influence skyrockets. Cold reading is effective because it can leverage deep-rooted psychological biases. Confirmation bias. Your mind is wired to seek patterns and meaning. When you hear a vague statement, you automatically look for ways to make it fit your story. You've been under stress lately. Suddenly, you recall work deadlines or a family argument. You fill in the blanks. Barnum statements. These are phrases that sound personal but apply to nearly everyone. For example, you have a tendency to be critical of yourself. Almost everyone can relate to that. Selective memory. After a cold reading, you remember the hits and forget the misses. If the reader guessed wrong, you ignore it. If they guessed right, you're impressed. This blend of bias creates the illusion that the reader has uncanny insight. Now, if you suspect you're being cold read, here are 4 strategies to protect yourself. Step 1, resist reacting. Stay neutral. Don't nod, smile, or offer extra details. Without feedback, the reader has no way to narrow their guesses. Step 2, ask clarifying questions. If they claim something specific, ask them to elaborate without giving context yourself. Which family member are you referring to? You might say. A genuine insight will be clear. A guesser will get vague. Step 3, watch for Barnum statements. Listen carefully. Are they saying anything truly unique or just universal statements anyone could relate to? Step 4, keep records. If you're paying for a reading, write down everything that's said. Later, you'll see how many statements were general or inaccurate. Now, let's look at 2 men who illustrate how cold reading can play out in real life. Case 1, David and the psychic medium. David lost his father and felt unresolved grief. A friend suggested a psychic who claimed to speak to the dead. During the session, the psychic started with, I sense a father figure who passed recently. He was proud but sometimes struggled to say it. David's eyes watered. That described his dad perfectly, or so he thought. As he nodded, the psychic continued, he's showing me a watch, something he wanted you to have. David burst into tears. His father had left him a watch. After the reading, David felt peace, but also suspicion. When he replayed the conversation, he realized the psychic started with a generic father figure. He mentioned his father's watch while scheduling the appointment. Most statements were vague until he reacted. Now, case number 2, Marcus and the street mentalist. Marcus was approached by a street performer who claimed to be a mind reader. The performer said, "You recently faced a big decision, work or relationship related." Marcus raised an eyebrow. It was true, but not uncommon. The performer continued, "You sometimes feel like you're pretending to be more confident than you are." Marcus, slightly. Finally, the performer said, "There's an M connection. Someone important whose name starts with M." Marcus was stunned. His mother's name was Mary. Later, Marcus realized he was wearing a bracelet with an engraved M. The performer had never read his mind, just his wrist. Now, are you wondering if you've been before? Take this quick quiz. Do you remember someone telling you specific details about your life that you never confirmed? Do you feel compelled to share more personal information during the conversation? Were their statements vague at first, becoming specific only after you reacted? Did you feel emotionally hooked, even when you were skeptical? Looking back, were most statements true of almost anyone? If you answered yes to 3 or more, you've likely encountered cold reading tactics. Cold reading is a powerful form of psychological manipulation that preys on your desire for understanding and connection. Remember, the 3-stage playbook, the shotgun, broad statements, the feedback loop, gathering clues, and the revelation, specific claims, the hidden psychology, confirmation bias, Barnum statements, and selective memory. Your defense toolkit: stay neutral, ask clarifying questions, look for vague statements, document everything. The next time someone claims to see inside your mind, you'll know exactly what to look for and how to stay in control. If you want more strategies to spot and defend against dark psychological tricks or tactics, like, comment, and subscribe to Atypical Tactics. Awareness is your strongest defense. Stay vigilant.